Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
I'm Goose.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Today on the show, we sign ourselves up to the Galactic Federation and blast our way through Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Pew pew!
Plus, we see what life is like for the humble cardboard box in Unbox.
Pew pew!
No, actually there are weapons in it.
Oh. Games about sentient cardboard boxes. Just what will they think of next?
Magical powered packing foam.
Talking bubble wrap.
Oh, I'm looking forward to those games. Well, power up your brain cells, spawnlings. It's time for a D.A.R.R.E.N's challenge! Today I'm asking you this. Which Aussie Socceroo has been on the cover of the last 6 FIFA games? Answer at the end of the show.
Alright guys, I think I'm going to defer my gaming pick duties to you, Hex, this week.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yes, off you go. Take it away.
Excited.
Oh, this is getting pretty cushy, D.A.R.R.E.N.
Affirmative. Don't get used to it.
Why?
Good morning. Hex here once again with the Spawn Point Action Weekly News. Nintendo has clapped down on the recent fan-made mashup game No Mario's Sky. Attorney for Nintendo of America Incorporated Brian Sniffen sent the developers ASMB Games a takedown notice claiming No Mario's Sky clearly infringes on Nintendo's copyright under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA. In response to this, the developers took down the game and re-uploaded a new version called DMCA's Sky, which replaced infringing material with more generic art, making Mario a generic spaceman and Goombas into Moombas. And in some lighter news, a team of Minecrafters have managed to beautifully recreate Hayao Miyazaki's My Neighbor Totoro's world. And that's the latest from Spawn News. Thanks for watching. I'm Hex. And stay with us now. We've got reviews and more coming up next.
How does Hex get such a professional setup? It looks so professional.
She's got connections.
Yeah, nicely done, Hex. I think Lee and the news team might have some competition.
Oh, thanks so much.
Oh, well, now it's time to take an in-depth look at Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Guys, when I heard there was a new Metroid game, I got really excited. I love Metroid. The design, the gameplay, the music. Oh, Samus. And guess what? Federation Force has none of these things.
Yeah, it's a weird way to celebrate Metroid's 30th anniversary, isn't it? By removing everything that fans love about it.
Affirmative. In Metroid Prime Federation Force, you are an unnamed Marine with a customizable mech suit.
Systems activated.
After some basic training, you're sent to various planets to conduct your missions.
Slowly, bits of the story start to seep through the mission-to-mission gameplay as you discover that the space pirate Samus thought she'd exterminated survived, and they're building some kind of mega weapon.
Federation Force does have the makings of a good fun action game. There's a real variation in the gameplay with stealth missions, puzzles, tricky boss fights, and all massive shootouts.
Intercepting rockets before they're launched, moving items through hazardous areas during dangerous storms.
Oh, not to mention Blast Ball. Ugh. It's not that much fun to play, but I thought I should mention it because it's this weird 3v3 Rocket League style mode.
The game really feels like it's meant to be played in 4-player co-op all the way through too. In the single-player campaign, there were some sections that just felt frustratingly difficult. And when you die, you have to do the whole mission again from the start. And some of the levels are quite long, and when you're flying solo, death can come swiftly. The 4-player mode is just a lot more fun.
Yeah, particularly in those levels where you have to protect things from an onslaught of enemies. Plus, if anyone goes down, they can just alert their squadron and someone will come by and repair them.
There are also mods, obtainable chips that you can put in your mech suit to give you better stats, like vitamins for robots.
The mods are interesting, but I never really felt much of a difference when I used them. Plus, you can only use a couple at any one time, so I never really felt like there was much of an advantage anyway. Overall, I think this is quite a good first-person shooter for the 3DS, but the lack of any character development and the expectations that it was going to be a Metroid game definitely take away from it. I mean, you don't even get to play as Samus.
Samus is on more important missions, Goose. She's doing reconnaissance, conducting investigations. She's got bigger fish to fry. Space pirate fish.
Yeah, you are kept up to date with what Samus has been up to, but I have to say I did kind of feel a little bit like the underachieving sibling. You know, hearing about how great Samus was going and how she was having massive battles and emerging victorious, all the while I was being asked to trap an ice creature in a cage for research purposes.
But the funny thing is, despite all of these issues, I actually quite enjoyed Federation Force once I forgot it was a Metroid game.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the game would have been a lot better if they just removed all references to Metroid and Samus altogether and maybe called it...
D.A.R.R.E.N, the Noob Exterminator Space Patrol. Hyper fighting.
See, Darren, that would be much better because here I was expecting a Metroid game and this wasn't it. I can only give it 2.5 rubber chickens.
I'm giving it 2 out of 5 rubber chickens.
All right, it's time to inflate your parachute pants because it's time for another retro replay. Roll the tape, Lee.
Do you want to know why we're rapping and rhyme?
Cause we're about to look way back in time.
To check out games from yesterday.
They may be old, but they're fun to play.
We got the facts that you need to know.
Of the radical world of gaming retro.
Charging my laser.
That's my thing.
Two armies face off. Infantry, armor, artillery. Oh. The Advance Wars series has been a strategy juggernaut since 1988.
If you ever owned a Game Boy Advance, you definitely owned Advance Wars.
The gameplay was turn-based and took place over a variety of maps. You would position your units, make your attacks, and then the enemy AI would do the same.
And there were so many games in the series. Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising, and Advance Wars Dual Strike. And they were all just so good. Why were they so good, Darren?
Oh, that's easy, Bajo. Balance and counters. Differences in terrain and unit types could make or break a match. A cautious player who took in all his surroundings would win. A reckless player who did not consider all options would lose. Every move counts in Advance Wars.
That's right, and you had to take into account a lot of different things with each turn. Weapon range, fuel, ammunition, and so much more. There were also vital bases to capture along the way to increase your unit production. Most importantly, all of this was easy to learn, but hard to master.
Affirmative. Everyone would start an Advance Wars game as a humble rookie, and by the end of it would be a fully fledged commanding officer, ready to take on any tactical situation.
Oh, Darren, I played this game everywhere. I was glued to the console, on the bus, on the train, on the plane, even on the toilet.
Ugh, unhygienic.
Advance Wars made me appreciate learning a set of rules and ideas and applying those cleverly in new circumstances. And that's why even today it's still my favourite strategy series of all time.
Retro replay complete. Oh, we forgot to say how good the music was.
Oh, Darren, it was so bodacious radical. Why don't you pump up some jams?
Affirmative.
No, I really miss that Bajo kid.
Yeah, he's wacky. Although he always gets cheese all over my game controllers, and they've been very clean lately.
I don't miss that.
Delicious. Well, it's time for you two to go to the spawn point desk.
All right, let's kick things off with this one from Technomancer, who is in WA. In WA.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Hey Gus, I was just wondering, what does SNES, GCN, N64, and GBC stands for? If you don't answer, I will wipe all cheese sandwiches of the world and destroy all video consoles.
Not my consoles. Well, straightforward question, I guess. So, SNES stands for Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and GCN stands for Nintendo GameCube.
Wait a minute. Nintendo GameCube, wouldn't that be NGC? Surely GCN would stand for GameCube Nintendo.
Well, it's a little confusing. So in Japan, the GameCube was actually abbreviated as NGC, but in Western countries, they called it the GCN. I'm not 100% sure on the reason why, but I have heard that maybe it's because it clashed with the trademark for the National Geographic Channel. But even though it was called the GCN, it was always referred to as the Nintendo GameCube, so technically that's what it stands for, even if it doesn't actually make any sense.
Ah, well, that explains it, I guess. As for the rest of them, though, N64 stands for Nintendo 64, and the GBC is the Game Boy Color. So, let's move on to this one from Sudesh, who is in Purpletown, New South Wales.
Hi GGSP, I was wondering, in Clash of Clans, can healers heal healers? Because my healers always get shot down. Also, what is the best time to spawn healers, and what troop is the best with healers? If you don't answer me, I will turn you purple for the rest of your life. Hex, do these. Thanks. Well, Sudesh, no, healers cannot actually heal other healers. They can only heal ground troops, so that means they can't heal flying troops like dragons, balloons, or of course other healers.
As for the best time to spawn them, well, it depends what strategy you're using them with. But typically it's a good idea to deploy them early so that they're healing as much of your army as possible. And usually it's a good idea to use them in combination with troops that have lots of health, like giants, P.E.K.K.A.s, and golems.
But one of the more popular tactics with healers is called the Queen Walk. This involves deploying your queen at the start of a battle and using a bunch of healers to back her up. It's super effective since when you combine them, your healers can actually stay out of range of air defenses and keep your queen alive while she wreaks havoc.
It is important to note that the healing effect actually doesn't stack that well. After you put down 4 healers, every additional one will have a reduced effect, which gets even more reduced after you put 6 or more down.
Yeah, so it's a good idea not to deploy too many healers on a queen at once, or else they just get a bit wasted.
Well, hopefully that's helpful, Sudesh. But let's move on now to this one from someone, CC, who is somewhere out there in the Northern Territory. Hello, GGSP. You guys reviewed a game called Human Fall Flat. I saw that you guys had controllers while playing. But when I looked on the internet, I only saw it on PC. Where can I find and play it on Xbox One? Well, someone CC. Human Fall Flat is only available on PC at the moment, but you can actually use Xbox One controllers on a PC. All you need is a USB cable, plug it into your Xbox controller, and then plug the other end into the USB port on your PC, and it's all hooked up. That's what we did.
It's as simple as that, but do have some patience because according to the developer, Xbox One and PS4 versions are already in the works, and they're due to come out sometime later this year.
And we've heard they'll even be coming with extra levels that the PC version will get for free as well.
I always love some good freebies.
Yeah, indeed. Let's move on to this one from Gamer Kid, who is in I Love Pokemon and Can't Wait for Moon, which is in South Australia.
I hear that's wonderful this time of year.
What a place.
Why do Nintendo and Game Freak like to build up hype for their games, instead of releasing their Pokemon games straight away? P.S. Bajo and Hex, you are both equal. P.P.S. You two are much better than Darren. P.P.P.S. Do not let Darren answer my question or I'll be a noob. Well, gee, gamer kid, don't you worry about that. We won't let Darren anywhere near this question.
No, we wouldn't want you becoming a noob now, would we?
No, not of course. But for those wondering what hype is, well, it's essentially just the result of developers and publishers advertising their games and you getting excited or hyped about it.
Yeah, and the reason they try to build hype is quite simple. It's, Goose, why don't you explain this?
Sure, I mean, well, I already know what it is. It's you get hyped about something. You know, you hype it up. You hype.
Yeah, you've got no idea, do you?
Well, of course I know. Darren explains this stuff so much better. So maybe we could just give him a call.
Well, didn't the Spawnlings specifically ask us not to give this question to Darren?
Well, maybe just in this one case we could clarify it with him.
Specifically?
Look, I'm just going to give him a quick call.
Right, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Darren.
Goose, how can I help you today?
Well, Darren, I've just got a little question for you. We were wondering, why do some developers and publishers build up hype for their games?
Well, that's simple, Goose. It's to help sell their games. If they don't get people excited about their games and don't tell them that they're making them, then people won't know or care about them, and they probably won't buy them.
Yeah, that's totally what I was going to say.
Of course, hype can be a bit of a dangerous thing. It can build up your expectations of a game so much that when you finally get it, it can only end up being a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I think a lot of others had that with No Man's Sky. It seemed so promising, and then I ended up finding it kind of boring.
Oh, but it did sell extremely well, though, so you can't deny the hype did its job.
That's true. Thanks so much for that, Darren. Okay, bye.
Too much information, really.
Yes, okay. Well, at least you got an answer there, gamer kid. But on that note, we're out of time for this week. If you'd like to ask us something, then you can go here and send us your question.
I'm hyped up for a review now.
Oh, really?
Let's do it.
Hyper!
Hyperbole.
Hype! All right, I really nailed those answers.
Good questions, too.
All right, guys, ready to get unboxed?
Yeah, sure.
Indeed, I am the boxiest one out of all of us.
You're right about that.
The GPS, or Global Postal Service, is a company in trouble. Their boxes keep going missing on deliveries. So, using mysterious technology, they create sentient boxes that are able to deliver themselves.
And you play the newest box on the block. Guys, I have to say it's weird enough just to be playing as a box, but the fact that they've centered a whole story around these living boxes, it's even weirder. You're apparently smarter than the average box and will lead the company to victory.
Getting started, there is a rather lengthy tutorial. Although I can see why they've done this, the movement and physics in the game are quite unusual.
They really are. As a box, you can kind of roll and bounce. But to get some serious air, you can unbox as well, which is essentially like a massive double jump you can do on any surface.
Yeah, movement is wild and erratic, and it takes a while to get used to. But there's something kind of free about it too, flinging yourself all over the place.
Once you leave the hub zone, you head out into the world.
In the open world area, there are a few things to do. Collect gold tape, take part in challenges to earn postage stamps, and free trapped innocent boxes.
Yes, but not all boxes are innocent, Darren. Part of this strange box storyline is this gang of nasty rebel boxers who are trying to sabotage your efforts. Although a quick ground slam usually gets rid of them.
I was a little confused by the objectives here. The challenges were a little difficult to find within the world, and I wasn't sure what a lot of the environmental props were for. And almost all of the tasks set before you are timed platforming or collecting challenges, and they were really hard. So much pressure.
I thought they made interesting use of the landscape, though. Naturally, boxes can't get wet. However, if you use the unbox function, you can bounce across any surface up to 6 times before you need to refill the ability. And using these vents to send you soaring across islands and then bouncing about wildly, that was fun.
Yeah, but that wildness can be a bit frustrating too. Aiming is a bit difficult, obstacles in the landscape are more frustrating than challenging, especially when facing off against enemies in the challenge mode. You're bumping into exploding boxes while getting shot at, there's things in the way blocking your vision. You're bouncing all over the place. It's all just too chaotic.
Yeah, I have to say I agree with you there, Hex. I also found the challenges quite uninteresting and often just a variation of the same objective. Collect things and kill bad boxes. Just stop exploding. I ended up getting so frustrated that I almost put the game down. But guys, that's when I noticed the multiplayer mode.
Affirmative. It's split screen. Fantastic to see split screen making a comeback. Local multiplayer lols on the couch with friends are my favourite.
Me too, Darren. And I was surprised to find the multiplayer was quite extensive with loads of different maps and modes to choose from. There are battle modes, races, collecting modes. But almost all of them involved picking up power-up style weapons and trying to take out your opponent, which makes for some competitive fun.
What do you say, guys? Should we have another go?
Definitely.
Out of the way.
Out of the way.
Yeah. And go. Oh no. I'm in the water.
You get a box. You get an unbox.
Unbox, right, okay. Is there a boost? I feel very slow.
No, you just gotta keep bouncing and shooting each other.
Get it.
Yes! No!
And unbox. Okay, there we go.
Oh no!
Rocket in the butt.
I'm still ahead. I'm still ahead. I'm okay.
Go,
Oh!
island hop. Come back, Hex.
Oh, I'm so gonna win. I'm so gonna win. I can see it. It's right there.
Fires rocket.
No!
Go.
No! I was right there and you put the ball and chain on me. That sucks.
Perfect Mario Kart just before the finish line.
Man, well played, sir. That was epic. There was a lot going on at once there.
Yeah, that was some insane platforming as well. I liked the racing mode best. It was a nice throwback to Mario Kart.
I'm just confused at how those boxes managed to travel so fast without wheels or rocket boots.
Video game magic, Darren. I definitely had more fun playing with friends, and I think the movement and design was much better suited to a multiplayer style of play. It is still a bit tricky to keep track of everything with all that frantic bouncing around, though.
Yeah, there is a nice variety of weapons, and they're all heaps of fun to use. Rockets that send your opponent up into space, or saddle them with a ball and chain to weigh them down.
The whole concept is really quite silly, and I wasn't sure about this, but the multiplayer, it kind of works in its own quirky way.
What are you two going to score it?
Look, I'm impressed with how big the world is, how much they've crammed in it, and I certainly had a lot of laughs in that multiplayer mode, so I'm giving it 3 rubber chickens.
I think it could have used a little bit more finesse and polish, just fine-tune those controls and the movement to make it a little bit less erratic, so I'm giving it 2 out of 5 rubber chickens.
You're just upset I beat you on that finish line.
I beat you in the other 2 modes.
Yeah, but the race was the real test of who could be the best box.
Was it? Was it, Goose?
It was this guy. Well, we're almost out of time, so Darren, can we get the answer to your challenge?
Affirmative, Goose. At the start of the show, I asked you this. Which Aussie Socceroo has been on the cover of at least 6 FIFA games? And the answer is... Tim Cahill!
Hey, Stephanie Catley from the Matildas was featured once too, you know.
Oh, Stephanie Catley. Well, as a lover of cats, I approve. Next week, I think we finally get round to that singing competition you promised us. Isn't that right, Darren?
Oh, affirmative. My preparations are finally complete. Me.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna have to make sure we actually review Just Sing as well, you know.
Me, fa la la la.
Oh, solo mio.
Yeah, I can't wait till next week. Until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
La, goose out.
Darren out. Take
harmonizing.
on
Really?
me.